No Arbor, Karen. Gooley is indeed in the lineup. It was a bit of a hairy scenario here. We did not know if Caden Gooley was going to play tonight. They kept it tricky till the end, but no, Gooley is in the end. Let me get the lines for y'all. Now, I will say that Kane Gooley is definitely not healthy at all. So I don't know how beneficial it is for him to be there, but he is there. Here's some lines for you. They are, as you can see, the same lines, basically, right? Exact same lines. Going down with the ship. Hey Kelly, yeah, no hat tonight. I figured desperate times call for desperate measures. So I've decided to go hatless tonight. We've tried every hat. I have a couple hats left. I didn't use every hat that I had. I think I used 14 hats or so in these playoffs. Not that many. Yeah. How many losses? 3, 6, 3, 9, plus a couple for wins. I probably used about a dozen hats, and I've got like 5 or 6 more. But no, in the end, I decided no hat tonight, and we're just gonna have no hats till the end. Which hopefully isn't tonight. Once more onto the breach. Hello from Wethersfield, Connecticut. Martin Walsh, happy to have you here. Bummed that we lost 2 OT games and then got blown out. We need a 2C, amigos. I couldn't agree more, Robert. I hope you're doing well. I hope the weather. Why do I even have to ask you if the weather's nice in San Diego? I know the weather's nice in San Diego. It's always nice in San Diego. That's why people go there. Struble and Hudson don't work. Karen could not agree more. I think it's such a terrible defense pairing. And just really hoping that this offseason they figure out who's going to be that right-handed defenseman that's going to pair with Hudson. Is it going to be David Reinback or is it going to be somebody else? I don't know. I thought Marty would try a little line mixing tonight, but I guess not. Yeah, I'm surprised and not surprised. I think at this point, I don't know. I'm not saying the Canadians are resigned to their fate, but it's more like you go with the guys who brought you there. But I don't know. To me, Jack, I was the guy who brought them there. You should have played. I think whatever. It's a huge mistake putting Struble over Jack. Either way, Carolina has been giving out headshots like lottery tickets. Yeah, Carolina. I didn't feel imposed their will that physically early on in the series, but as the series progressed, you really started to see it more. The weather's great for sure. The weather's not great in Montreal today, raining like hell. Um, so everybody who's at the Luke Combs concert tonight, the Luke Combs concert at Parc Jean Drapeau, stay safe. Well, you're not going to stay dry. Stay safe. Is Joel Eriksson Ek available? Kelly says. I would be really shocked. He doesn't make a lot of money, and Minnesota has a lot of has a few guys who do make a lot of money and are probably trying to free up some money for Quinn Hughes. So I'd be shocked if Eriksson Ek's available. They also traded Marco Rossi to get Quinn Hughes, so they're kind of down a center here. So they'll probably keep him. Nice haircut. I didn't get a haircut. This is just me flattening my hair in my headphones. This is just this. My hair's pretty long at this point. Actually, I do need a haircut. Marty is forcing a square peg in a round hole. That is what I think as well. Marty seems to be a bit stubborn. There's a bit stubborn. Free agent market for 2C is not that strong. Not only is it not strong, there's literally nobody, in my opinion, right? Malkin and Coyle are off the market, which is, man, those are the two best guys available. It's not great. Not great. Joseph Barry, I think, echoing everybody else's sentiments. Can't believe the Claude Lemieux news. We just saw him. It's really thrown me. Makes this game so much less important. Uh, Absolutely. I was absolutely when I got the news yesterday, I was absolutely floored. A lot of people have been asking. We recorded Hockey Inside Out yesterday morning with Rick Green, and he hadn't heard the news yet. Um, and then obviously we heard the news not long after, and just not sure why I'm here tonight. Karen, you're here because it's we've been through thick and thin all season. We got to see this through to the end. Other than Morning Claude, yeah, I think Hugo, no matter what happens tonight, now has a clear picture of what they need to add to this lineup. I will say that, yeah, I don't think that he's totally shocked, Hughes, that he needs another center. He needs a little more grit, and he needs a right-handed defenseman to play with Hudson if that person is not Ryan Backer. And even then, I still think he needs a right-handed defenseman. I do still think that they're weirdly balanced. Have we won any of these 8 p.m. starts? When did game one start? I don't remember. Feels ready. I like it. Karen says, I wish Gallagher would play. Arbor played well in Buffalo. Owls are playing the Red Blacks 0-0. Yeah, I'm not surprised that Galley didn't play, especially on the road, but Dobish is a legit number one. He's going to get a bag soon. He might get a real bag. Chris Knuckles Nyland took a picture of him between Memesso and Claude on Monday, and they all seemed happy. Yeah, no, it's really shocking. Shocking about Claude Lemieux. We're all just like in shock. I don't want to, really just say more than that, other than just I'm still absolutely floored. He was, one of my first favorite players. When I was young, I was a kid when he was traded, and I was so sad. Didn't even know. I didn't even know. I was so young. I didn't even know players could be traded, and then was shocked when they traded Claude. Was shocked when they traded Richer. I was like, oh my god, these are my players. What's going on here? I was so shocked. But just man, a bittersweet day yesterday, in so much that obviously just incredibly sad what happened to Claude and the news, but also just really floored not only by our readers who really have shared with us their stories and their fandom, but also getting that Jack Todd obituary. It's not an obituary really. It's more of like a tribute, that Jack Todd tribute in your inbox. What an absolute uh honor to in those moments, in those difficult moments, my two most indelible moments working at the Gazette. I've been like full time at the Gazette for like a year and a bit. As you guys know, I've been freelancing for years, but obviously when Ken Dryden passed, and now Claude Lemieux, to have Stu Cowan, Herb Zukowski, and Jack Todd, really just in these difficult moments, dig deep and just write these beautiful stories, really capture the moment. Don't take it for granted, guys, that that we have these great writers that can, you know, put into words what you're feeling, in these really dark, sad moments. So, we're all a large extended Habs family, I think. Fans and players. We're all united in this, and to lose somebody like Claude, just yeah, it just kind of casts a shadow on the games themselves, for sure. It's as Karen said, mental illness needs to be discussed openly. Absolutely. We included in all our articles about Claude Lemieux, we included a phone number to call. What can I say? You just never know. As Robert says, you just never know what somebody's struggling with on the inside. All right, back to the game. Three to five shots a period are not going to cut it. No, it certainly isn't, Robert. What did you guys think about the Habs fans yelling "shoot"? That was crazy to see. Claude was Freddie Anderson's agent. He asked Freddie if he minded if he carried the torch. I didn't know that bit. That's interesting. As Karen says, we already have a ready D-man in Reinbacher, although some clueless people have done their best to insult him. He was literally drafted to play with Hudson. Get your head out of the sand. Karen, I totally agree. I just don't know how they feel about his readiness. Like, are they going to go into the season like, okay, Reinbacher's our guy, he's going in? Do they think that they're going to go in next season on the right side, like Dobson, Carrier, Reinbacher, um, and then they're good? Or are they going to maybe get some insurance, some Reinbacher insurance, allow him to go down to, stay in Laval and get reps if he needs the reps if he's not ready? I think they're gonna get someone. I have a guy that I think they're gonna get, but we'll leave that for. We'll talk about the off season. Depending on how tonight goes, we'll talk about the off season when we talk about the off season. But I have a prediction of what will happen. A little bit. Did they say shoot in English or French? They said it in English. They said it in English. That's how you know they're mad. He'll make the team next year. I would be the way that I would. He should make the team is what I would say. He absolutely should make the team, but teams like the Habs can't necessarily, go by should. They might feel like they need some insurance just in case. As Mark said, Reinbacher hasn't played more than 40 games without getting hurt. That's the other issue about maybe needing Reinbacher insurance. You just don't know if he's past his health sagas. How many years now did the Habs kind of bank on Kirby Dach becoming the second line center, and it just never happened because he was never healthy enough. Frankly, he was never good enough, but he was never healthy enough to do it. And now it's looking like, after a strong start in the playoffs, Kirby Dach is once again looking like he's going to be maybe the odd man out this offseason as they look to improve. We've already got one injury-prone D-man in Gooley. I highly doubt Reinbacher is the answer. The thing is, if you're gonna bet on if you're a hockey team and you're gonna bet on a guy who's injury-prone but talented, and like a not so talented guy who like is healthy a lot or is like more rugged and hasn't gotten hurt much, they're always gonna bet on the injured guy. They're always gonna bet on the talent and hope it works out. So I don't know if the injury part I think will make them want to get insurance for him, like get another option on defense. But I don't know if that's gonna discourage them too much from handing him a job. End of the day, he's still I think a very talented defenseman, and he should win the job. He just should win. He should win the job outright. No guarantees he does, but he should. Who's bringing the torch on Sunday night? Yes, we are playing Sunday. Honestly, Bob, I was thinking about this. I actually think maybe they'll just pay tribute to Claude, and they won't do the torch. I think they'll actually maybe start the night with something else, like jersey on the ice kind of thing. I don't know if they'll do they might put the torch to bed. I think that is a possibility. Trade Hage for number 2. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they like Hage too much. Now if somebody really good pops up, maybe, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. We got a prediction from Steve 5-2 Montreal. Ryan says if we don't score first, the season ends tonight. Man, it's been. JW says that Lemieux's cause of death has been apparent suicide. No, I can. The Montreal Gazette has confirmed that is what happened. So, that is the latest. Karen still thinks Reinbacker's going to be a star. I sure hope so. He's got the talent, man. He's got the talent. 5-2, 5 shots on goal, maybe? That's funny. No torch. I don't know. They had Claude do it. Like I don't know. It might be I don't know if they might just want to do something a little more subdued just given the circumstances. Either Hage or Zavorovsky are being traded. Uh I don't know if that's true. Maybe. If if they if they can fetch something good, I think they might, but they're not like off the market. I'll say that about those guys. They're not off the market, but they are like it would take a lot for I think the Habs to move. Certainly Hage. Zurovsky, I think maybe is a little more dealable just because he's probably staying in Russia for another year or two. So I think he'll stay the length of his contract. So that makes him a little more. So that'll be 2 more years, a little more dealable. Hage, I think it's going to have to take a lot to get them to move them. Do not trade Hage, David says. I hope you're right, Mark says about Reinbacker, but I don't know. You and I both love KK, and look at how that worked out. It's yeah, I mean that's the thing about Reinbacker is that undeniably I think like the package of what they need for a right-handed defenseman has the injury had the injury set him back enough. He looked good. He looked good. I'm still confident in him. If the Leafs take the Swedish player, Ivar Stenberg, that means McKenna could be had. He would be a nice 2C. He's not a center, McKenna. McKenna's a left wing in the NHL. He's like more Mitch Marnery. Can't be waiting on can't be waiting for 2 rookies. One of them for Heischer or Thomas. I don't know if that is what the Devils don't aren't trading for futures. The Devils want to be good now. If they trade Heischer, it's because they want something. Yeah, no, I don't think that's what the Devils want. St. Louis are weird. St. Louis are one of those teams that kind of always try to make the playoffs, but they should probably trade to get younger. Reinbacker's great, but he's always hurt. Yeah, he's gonna have to figure out how to get that done. Poll on Slav? What's the poll? Oh, Slav hasn't been the same for a while. What say you? I think he's hurt. I think he got hurt in the Crozier hit. I actually don't think it was a concussion. I think he hurt his wing. I think he hurt his shoulder. That would be my I'd be shocked if he I'd be very disappointed if he was healthy. But they wouldn't want Hage Zarovsky. They would want Caulfield for Heishier. Yeah. They don't want prospects for Heishier. Thomas maybe Thomas you can maybe get, but then they probably want more defense though. They would probably ask for a package involving I don't know, Gooley maybe? Gooley's not that good though. These players are not available in any way, shape, or form. These guys, this is not fantasy hockey, guys. Hagel Benson are not available. You have a better chance of getting Braden Point and Tage Thompson than Hagel or Benson. Those guys, I don't think are going anywhere. If Slav is hurt, he should be out. He's been a liability. That's how the playoffs go, though. They put the hurt guys in and see what happens. I'm betting Slav has a bad shoulder. That's my belief as well. He just doesn't seem to be the same player. I guess we'll see. We'll see. I would be willing to trade Caulfield for Heishier, then sign Tuck. Uh, yeah, Tuck is kind of interesting. Tuck is like a little old. He's like a little old for what the Habs are trying to do, but he's the type of player they need. And now that he had like not a very good playoff, like could he then? Because I was like the Buffalo Sabres are playing so good. He's from there. He's going to resign, right? I was like, for sure he's going to resign. And now I'm kind of like, oh man, he was really bad in the playoffs. Maybe he doesn't resign? I don't know. That's a possibility. Caulfield for Heischer is a really interesting idea. That is like, Adam, that is like a pure hockey trade. A pure hockey trade. A top goal scorer for like a top center. An interesting possibility. Elias Peterson, there are, I think, are a lot of questions about uh his just like, I don't know, his physical condition and his desire to play. I think there's a lot of worry about Elias Peterson, and he makes so much money. LA got Gretzky. People always say that, but that was different. That was a business decision. There's no business or hockey sense. Honestly, the Canadians have a better chance of getting Connor McDavid this offseason than they do Brandon Hagel. That's like the difference. The difference is like the like is there an opportunity here? Suzuki has looked slow and always gets beat off the puck. Could everybody be hurt? I don't know. Tuck's brother is a Hab prospect. He sure is. I wouldn't call him a prospect though. He's a minor leaguer that they have. I don't know if he's there. I personally like Thomas more than Heischer. I like Rob Thomas too. I just have a feeling that Rob Thomas is going to go in a much. I feel like St. Louis is going to be big game hunting for like a Brady Kachuk type, and then maybe Thomas for Brady Kachuk. We will take McDavid. It'll cost a lot, but I'm telling you, I think there's a better chance McDavid or Austin Matthews becomes a Hab than Brandon Hagel. Nucks owner doesn't want to retain. No, but they will take Gallagher maybe. They will take Gallagher maybe. To the Santana references, yeah, not that Rob Thomas. Mark says, I remember Claude's goal in OT against Hartford in 1986. Came out from behind the net and backhand into the top corner. I remember it like it's yesterday. I was watching that highlight yesterday evening. Mark says, I just want to go on record saying how much I hate the man on man we play. It's total nonsense, in my opinion. I'd be really shocked to see them change from it, though. McDavid would 100% agree to a trade with the Habs. I think so, too. A lot of people were saying that McDavid would not want to stay in Canada. And I don't buy that from him. I think he just wants to play on a winner that's not Edmonton. Is my vibe about McDavid. He just wants to be in a winning program. And right now, how many winning programs are there in Canada? There's one, basically. So no Galley or Arbor. I don't think those two are going to be back next year. Yeah, that's a pretty fair point, Adam. If they're not here now, and then they're going to make moves in the off season to get better, it would stand to reason that the guys who are on the outside looking in right now might not be back. Galley, I don't think anyone's shocked. Yeah, the Gallagher contract would be nice to see that go. I think I'd be pretty sad about Arbor going. I still don't think it's the right move. Dreaming last night, Gallagher ending his career in Vancouver is kind of the only thing that makes sense. Uh, I can't. Do the Habs take some contract back from Edmonton and try to make that work? Is Gallagher an offset, and maybe Calgary trades one of their vets to Montreal, and Montreal, did Montreal get like Blake Coleman, and then Gallagher and some prospects go the other way? Is that like a possible move? I don't know. Growth is not linear. Should be a lock for the playoffs in the coming years, but not a lock for the final four. No, definitely not. That, according to Mike Johnson of TSN. No, you can never. No team could ever say that they're a lock for the final four. Dallas was probably looked like the best team in the league on paper this year, and they were wiped in the first round. Nice tribute to Claude. I'm worried about our core. They're soft. I hope we don't end up like the Leafs. They need another element in there. Peterson to Montreal for Galley, defenseman, and a third. That's an interesting possibility. Elias doesn't make the team any like tougher though. I feel like you're adding another forward, maybe just doesn't show up. I'd be worried about that move. We are not trading Arbor. I hope not, Karen. I hope not. Adam says Suzuki's not tired. He's a world class athlete. If he's tired, then he's in horrible shape. How about beat up? Not tired. He's beat up. He'll go to the ends of the earth for this team. He'll keep going, but Doc. Somebody said Doc. Somebody said Doc. Robert said Doc. Not feeling good about Doc. Doc's chances of staying next season, I will say. Elias Peterson is the 2C. I just like, man, he makes a lot of money and he was really bad. I don't know. I know he needs a fresh start and has shown some great talent before. If I was Arbor, I'd say play me or trade me. He's got arbitration rights now. He's got a little bit of, he's got Arby's now. He's got Arby's now, so he could, he's got a little bit of purchasing power here. Karen's not worried. Love these guys. Yeah, I think they're just like a few elements away from. I don't think the they made it to the third round. This team has got is tougher than we think. You know what I mean? I don't think they're soft. I think they've met a team that is harder than them and went harder. But I wouldn't call the team soft. They beat Tampa, who I think is one of the hardest teams in the league. Doc is done. There's no way you bring that guy back. The last few games have been very. This series has been very telling, where Doc has been basically glued to the bench. Uh, Hard to imagine that they'll spend that money. We can't lose this game, Robert says. That is true. They cannot. They can't. They can't. Otherwise, then I get the rest of my weekend. I get my weekend off though. I get my weekend off. Arbor deserves to be playing somewhere. Their anthem singer really sucks. I can't believe that this is the guy who sings over the bilingual guy. This guy really fucking sucks. Djokovic lost in 5 hours. You know, our offer sheets don't come by often, but players like Arbor Jacki don't come by often either. So he could be the guy. Yes, he did do that thing where he overdid the American anthem. All right, off we go. Send some positive vibes to the boys. Only giving them the first period. That's funny. Yeah, exactly the kind of start once again that we are not We did not want. Not a great start so far. No, not a good 10 seconds. It's very concerning that they haven't learned to adjust. I don't care how young they are. This is a bad sign. This is admittedly a bad sign. This is it's 3-0 shots already. We're about a minute, a bit in. This team, Slavkovsky with another giveaway. Yeah, Slavkovsky's got to wake up. Man, that was just a totally just lost the puck in his skates there. No, it's bad. It's bad, guys. I think that's the whole issue here. Yeah, the back passing does not work. They just need to go forward, 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 attack, attack, attack. They're hanging back too much for sure. I blame premature playoff beard shavers, myself included. But hey, I wanted to change. I wanted to change the vibe after 2 losses. I did it. I did it. Slav better. That's the sort of prevailing, like, Slav better be hurt. Like, if he's not hurt, I'm like, what the hell happened to you? Absolutely. If he's not hurt, we can definitely ask, like, what the heck happened to you then? If you're not hurt, Knuckles didn't think he was hurt. Knuckles thinks that when he's in his head, he doesn't move his feet, and when he doesn't move his feet, he's not as effective, and that's what he thinks happened. Other people think he's hurt, so I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out together. It's not about being cup contenders. It's their play. That's a very fair point, Adam. They like kind of kept making the same mistakes in the playoffs, and it's like, why, why? There's a lot of improvement still to come for the ways for them to improve this in the coming seasons. Can't even enter the zone on the power play. I wonder if Slav is playing with the effects of concussion. Yeah, we're not really sure. They wouldn't play him under those conditions. That's why I think it might be a shoulder injury for him. He just seems like he's lost a lot of. Nice passing there, but man, too many passes. Slavkovsky had tried to set up the guy back door, and I understand that the guy was wide open, but you also had room for a shot short side, and you did not take the shot. This looks like Price era. Yeah, it does. This series has looked very Price era. I mean, a lot of the playoffs did, but the offense does tend to dry up in the playoffs in general. But I this is why I wouldn't care. You wouldn't care if they traded Caulfield. You can't win the playoffs with this guy. I would not be so quick to assume that these guys will never play well in the playoffs. You know what I mean? They're not having a great playoff. I do not think that precludes them from being good in the future in the playoffs. There are, my God, a litany of players who have been accused in the past of not being playoff performers, including the guy who's about to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, probably, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner was accused his entire career of not being a playoff performer, and then lo and behold, he's now 4 games from winning a cup, and I think is going to win it, and I think he's going to win the Conn Smythe. To know with the only shot. They didn't count that Slavkovsky backdoor attempt, I guess. Approaching the 6 minute mark, and the Canes have not scored yet. It's true, but the Canadiens also had a power play and did not score on the power play. Kucherov didn't score for what, 18 games? Exactly. Kucherov was a playoff hero who has now since not become a playoff performer. So playoff performance, there are some guys in this world, there are the Claude Lemieux of this world who just are able to bring it every time there's the playoffs. But the reality is that players are, if you look at even some of the best players in the world, pretty inconsistent playoff performers, except for the very best of the best. So, or just certain types of players. So, while I do think the Canadiens do need to go out and try to find more playoff built performers, I'm not ready to assume that anyone on this team cannot play in the playoffs. This was ostensibly uh, Caulfield's first playoff. Last year's cup of tea in Washington barely counts, but really, like a playoff as the guy. Didn't take it well, but Kucherov is already a proven winner. I know that's what I'm saying. That he was a proven winner and he has won before. He did not win this time. It doesn't mean that he's not a playoff winner. But I'm also saying Caulfield could have a bad playoff and then he could have a good playoff next year. Like, you understand how the passage of time works, Adam. You seem to be saying, and this has been a recurring theme this year, where if a Canadian does something bad, he will forever be bad. And if another player on another team does something good, he will always be good. And you omit the bad parts. Like, the passage of time does not work that way. If Caulfield helped us win a few cups, I wouldn't care. In what sense would you not care? Like, you wouldn't care that, like, what happens now. Okay. Or are you saying that you would not care about those cups? You would care about the cups, right? Justin Williams was like that. Well, Justin Williams also blinded our captain once. So, fuck Justin Williams. I don't like that guy. Bounce forward. We have bring back Steve Shutt. He was a proven winner. If they could bring back prime era Steve Shutt, Aragorn, let me tell you, they would do it in a hurry. I think Suzuki's refusal to shoot has been the most egregious of all the guys who refuse to shoot because at the end of the day, Suzuki's the captain, and like as he goes, so too will this team go. I would care about the cups, but if he sucked after, I wouldn't care. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing, right? Like he had a bad playoff this year, but he might win a cup in the future, and then it'll all be forgiven, and then like whatever, we'll move on. Ovechkin's a great example of that. Ovechkin was like for years was accused of like not caring about the playoffs. Oh, Ovechkin just cares about the regular season stats. He doesn't care about the playoffs. But he won a cup. The guy won a cup. In the end, he won a cup. He was just like, all right, tired of the accusations. I'll win a cup. Ovechkin's a great example of a guy who, if this team somehow won a cup this year, I'm good for another 30 years. Well, this year's looking not so great, but they could win next year. They could win in 2 years. They could win at some point. Dare I say this is the best we've been up to the first break, other than game one? Yeah, that's. I think Pimp, you were right on the money. Yeah, exactly. Justin Williams, I'll never forgive that guy. I actually blame the refs for turning a blind eye to the Koivu high stick. Well, the refereeing in the 2000s was non-existent, I would say. When we traded for Bolduc, he reminded me of Claude Lemieux. Skates well, same size, but I thought he was tougher than he has shown. He he was a good forechecker in the Tampa series, and that line has completely evaporated as this series went along. I'm not ready. I liked what I saw from Bolduc, and I think I saw more from Bolduc than I saw from like the other guys on that line, Doc and like Texier and those guys. I like Bolduc. I He's another guy who's completely. I mean, nobody's looked good this series, right? I would give Bolduc one more year to do what? He had a pretty he had like an up and down season, but like what are you expecting from him exactly? Like I think he's got lots of room for improvement and I think he'll be better next year, but like what in 1 year are you like hoping to see from him basically is what I'm wondering. Texier is working hard. He is working hard, but and he's another guy that I think can be a better forechecker. Hey, just forecheck there. Better forechecker. I think he can hit a little more. He's got a good body too, but he's another guy that's just been like swallowed up this series. I will say that I'm not going to judge in too many individual performances in this series because everybody's looked bad. So like I'm not gonna go up spend my life being like, oh, this entire team is bad because they played badly against Carolina. Like we're not changing the entire team here. Um, and I thought like guys like Texier and Bolduc look good in the other two series. We definitely seem to play better on the road. Yeah, just really unfortunate given how great the Montreal crowd is. He has to be way more consistent. Yeah, he can't go like 30 games without scoring a goal again. That was bad. But if he can be like a 20 goal scorer, he's always going to be pretty inconsistent, I think, because he's He's just not an elite goal scorer. But if he can forecheck hard every game, if he can evolve into like a Josh Anderson type that maybe scores a little more, I'd be pretty happy with that. Marty made zero effing adjustments. Very surprised, I think. We all are. Is that going to count? Is that I'm just wondering, obviously there's lots of traffic in front. I don't know if Marty's gonna challenge or whatever. I mean, first of all, Taylor Hall was like down in the zone for a million freaking years. Stankoven, they kind of just let walk in. No, that looks pretty clean to me. They're challenging. Yeah, I mean, Stankoven definitely walked in. What are we gonna see here? Marty's got the tablet going. Yeah. Habs challenge. I mean, it's is this the season right here? Basically, is this basically the season? I mean, the thing is, nobody touched Stankoven. He literally just walked in. So I say no. That's interference for sure. Kelly says looks like interference. Derek says we need to do that. Yeah, we do need to do that. Hall is such a beast. Oilers should never have let him go. I think he was let go. I mean, that was a terrible trade. Larson wasn't very good for them. But I do think that that was more of a personality trade than a talent trade. I don't think Hall wanted to be there. It's gonna be a long night. Yeah, I oof. Zoinks! Marty ain't happy. That could be curtains. If uh if Carolina can score on this the TNT broadcast can't believe the goal stood. The CBC broadcast or Sportsnet broadcast not a big take either way on that one. Man, even Ray-Ban, who was sure that the Canadians would have an answer for Freddie Anderson, is not feeling good about this one. Mark says he's being a realist. Better being a realist is better than being an optimist. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Depends on what. I think in sports and entertainment, you should be optimist. You could that should be, but it doesn't hurt to be optimistic. Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like it matters and it doesn't matter. If you know what I mean. Like if you just want to root the team on, it doesn't matter. You don't have to like. You could have rose-colored glasses if you want. You guys have almost convinced me that Marty sucks. Dobus is pissed. He should be. He should be. Well, at least it's back to 5-on-5 at least. Look, I don't think that that move. I don't think that that was part that non-penalty was part of any larger conspiracy. I'll tell you. I'll tell you that much. I don't agree with the call, but I don't think that that it was anything other than a slight disagreement here. Arbor would not make any difference in this game. I don't know. He would have. He might have cross-checked Logan Stankoven in the face after the fact. Not during, but after the fact. Dirty playoff goal that happens all the time. We have nobody to clear our crease. This has been a frequent. You guys have talked about this all season. The lack of a big body, and sure enough, Logan Stankoven, who's a very small player. If the Canadians had Logan Stankoven, you guys would be like so mad all day about how small he is. But hey, man, he's in Carolina and working out just fine. Buddy, that was goaltender interference. I thought it was goaltender interference, but I'm not. What I'm saying is that I don't think it was that larger conspiracy um, to screw the Habs over. I just think that there was a different disagreement over the call. They didn't feel like there was enough there to call it, which I disagree with, but I don't think. What the fuck is Struble adding to the team? Yeah, I'm pretty done with the. I think Struble is a perfectly fine bottom pairing defenseman in this league, but I am ready to move on from Jaden Struble and get somebody better. I think Jaden Struble will have a nice long NHL career as a journeyman defenseman, and all the love to him. But the Canadians need something better, especially to play with Lane Hudson. It's kind of ridiculous that Jaden Struble is the defenseman that plays with Lane Hudson. And I think is maybe the of the we criticize Marty a fair bit. I think Marty's made a lot of great moves this year. I think pairing Hudson with Struble has all season been a bad move for Marty, and I don't know why they do it. Really, it's funny how people are so Marty insanely happy by wins. It's always Marty. He's great. Yet in losses, no one has the balls to question him. So question: who is the bright one that developed pass, pass, pass? Rick says. Again, I still think that Marty is probably one of the better coaches in this league, but I do still think that he's got some blinders on. But I'll say that I watch all the coaches, or most of the coaches that I've seen. They kind of all have. Well, I mean, Jobish just kept this game alive. Hudson has proved he's not a number one D. I don't agree with that at all. Why do you assume it was Struble? Because Hudson plays very well when he's not with Struble and plays badly when he's with Struble. Hudson has proved he's not a number one defense. I just don't agree with that assessment at all. I think you just have it in your head that a small defenseman can't be good, and you're just like gonna take that one home. Yes, the first line is indeed getting dominated again. Arbor was needed 2 games ago. Arbor's not great at boxing out. It's a general problem for the Habs. Yeah, they're very the Habs are very stick and turnover forward when it comes to their defense, which does not help in terms of boxing people out. Wherever Jack Eye goes next year, he won't be a part-time D-man, guaranteed. Only happens in Marty Land. Kale McCarr. Kale McCarr 1-1. Have we won a face-off yet? Yeah, they've won 10 of 14. We'll go through this later. There are definitely a few more. Got into a tussle the other night with Mitch Melnick because I suggested maybe it's time that Montreal Canadiens hire a real NHL coach and staff. I don't know what you guys think is like coming up here. I you guys should see what's out there. There's not a lot out there. I hear all this like get a number one center, get an experienced coach, get a better number one defenseman than Lane Hudson. I'm telling you, like these things are just kind of not out there. Not really how it works. They indeed have 3 shots. Yeah, I've heard this a lot. Like the 70s Habs, 70s Habs. It's just that is not going to like. It's just a lot different now. I mean, there's 32 teams. It's going to be 34 in a couple of years. The teams are just built different now. If the 70s Habs like could still exist, they would absolutely just beat the shit out of everybody. They'd be amazing. But even the best team in the league is not like the best teams in the league right now. The Avalanche, the Vegas Golden Knights, Carolina, they're not as good as the 70s Habs because the 70s Habs, smaller league, a GM that was just like treating everybody, like just tricking everybody and just being amazing. Like those days are over. The parity of this league is just so much different, unfortunately. Pascal, well, they're not going to let go Marty to bring Pascal in. But I told you guys, I think Pascal's Vincent is better than probably at least a dozen coaches in this league and should be an NHL coach. And I do think Marty's a little stubborn, but that was a really bad, really another really just lousy ass, another lousy ass power play for the Habs. Michael says the Habs had a great run. They'll be better next year if Marty can learn from this schooling and understand the Habs need grit. They have been run over the last 3 series. Yeah, this team has a lot of talent. I think we all see that, but they definitely need a little more sandpaper. Carolina on pace for 52 shots on goal. That'd be funny. 0 shots in the power play, and only 1 second after Carolina gets a shot. That is exactly what happened. A little. Torts could win the cup and retire if he wanted to. I think that's what's going to happen. I do think Torts is going to retire. I don't think. I don't think Torts is going to stay in. I don't think. Tort's gonna stay in Vegas. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Marty bailed on the top line early on that power play. Even he sees the top line doesn't have it. Sad. A sad end to that first line that they just like could not get it going in these playoffs, man. I'm surprised. They played so good in the regular season. I I did I think that it was gonna be a lot harder for them to score in the playoffs? Absolutely. Did I think they were gonna learn some tough lessons? Absolutely. But they disappointed me for sure. Disappointed me for sure. They do need great. Maybe we need a different Jack guy. They have another Jack guy. Another Jack guy's coming. Number one line needs to be changed. Marty has he changed it up a little bit. He put New Hook on last game, and I guess has immediately kind of gone back to the well here. Torts would be perfect in Edmonton. He doesn't want to go to Canada though. Rabinoff. He didn't even when he was coaching in Vancouver, he didn't want to be in Canada. I think at that point he wanted to be a coach so badly he took the offer, but unless like he thinks that he can make Edmonton a winner and he thinks that that's like his ego kicks in, like I don't think he'll want to go. I think that's why they're looking at Babcock because they want Torts, but there's no. Well, this game is over. 2-0. Stan Coven. This is just a real sad end if this is how it goes down. Vegas swept Avalanche. They ain't soft. Who said they were soft? I didn't say they were soft. Did somebody say that Vegas is soft? Vegas is the opposite of soft. They are a hard ass bunch of jerks. That's a team full of jerks, basically. Same old, same old. Route on the way. Done after this period. Damn, Ray-Ban is totally on the calling Marty a simp. Your heart goes out to Dobesh. My heart goes out to Dobesh too. Brind'Amour has made Marty look like a peewee coach this series. I've been trying all year. Can someone please understand what's so amazing about Matheson? Matheson gets a lot of touches. He's very good skating with the puck. He's a physical defenseman. He's very good at puck retrieval. He does make mistakes, though, I will say. He's not perfect, and he should not play as much as he does, though. The Habs are simply outclassed in every way. Eric Robinson, once again, doing the Habs dirty. This the Canadiens have collapsed. What a man. Good night, Karen. Hey, if y'all are saying good night, have a lovely summer. It's probably the last you'll see of me. We still have more Hockey Inside Out shows. How about you call it a night early? Pimp, I'm here to the bitter end. This room might be fucking empty by the end. I got my San Pellegrino here. I'm not wearing a hat, which definitely I'm never gonna do ever again. We're here. We're here till the end. If y'all want to talk about the off season, we could talk about the off season. What do you want to see? What do you guys want to see this off season? Should I tell you the guy that I think the Habs might get? Canes teaching Habs how to close out like champs. I think the Canes have a great shot against the Vegas Golden Knights in the final. I think that final is going to be really tight. Carolina's really good. I think the Canadiens are a very good team. I think they need to get better, but they fucking didn't have a fucking chance against Carolina. My God. My God. As you guys said earlier, they were just not good enough for the Kings. And it really goes to show, guys, the regular season is just like its own thing, the regular season. I know the Canadiens play well in the regular season, and I think there was a world in which the Canadiens could beat Carolina, but I think after two difficult playoff rounds, a first line that just like couldn't get shit done, it just wasn't gonna happen. It just wasn't happening this year. Simple math. We have 41 minutes left in the game. We have to shut them out, and we need to score 4 goals over 2 periods. Very doable. Not. That's the spirit, Steve. I like it. That's the spirit. To think people said that we would want to play Carolina in the first round. Sorry, it looks very bad, but this is the playoffs. You don't give up in the first period, even down 3-0. No, you know what? There's a lot to be said that if the Canadiens could just try their damnedest the rest of this game and at least try to score, try to get back in it, try to end the season on a positive note. I mean, they're gonna feel pretty good about the season anyway. They'll have a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth for sure, but at least end the season knowing that you fought till the end. You know what I mean? Where's Gallagher? He is in the press box where he has been since round 1, basically, right? Yeah, man. Gallagher is not playing, and I don't think that there was ever any consideration to play him, if I'm being totally honest. We need a fourth line like what Carolina has. So this is an interesting thing, guys. You're saying this, and I totally agree. But Eric Robinson and Mark Jankowski are both a couple of like journeymen. So when the Canadiens acquire guys, and you're kind of like, who the fuck is this guy? You can hit pay dirt on a guy. You can hit pay dirt on somebody who's been around the block a little bit, who hasn't quite found his game yet. So do keep that in mind when the Canadiens do some shuffling this off season. Haven't seen much worse out of a Canadiens team ever. This team is a bunch of quitters. I'll be interested to see how we feel about this in like a couple months right now, because this playoff series was a real freaking beatdown. A real beatdown. The way that we're being outshot in the elimination game is pathetic. Soft as hell. This team was very soft in this playoff round. They haven't really done much of anything. First period is over. Another no shot period, man. 4. What an absolute. Brian K says another laugher for the Canes. Marty's in way over his head. Despite going down 4-0, Ottawa put up a better fight than the Habs versus Canes. At least the Sens were in their games. Did they lose 4 straight this year? I don't believe the Canadiens lost 4 straight this year. I hope we have a long list of serious injuries to explain everything. I don't think it's going to be that long. I think there were some key injuries, as you know. Noah Dobson, I don't think his thumb ever actually healed. I think they just strapped him up and put him back in there. I think Slavkovsky is probably hurt. I think what else? Who else do I think might be hurt? Gooley's hurt. They quit, Kurt says. I would say, and this is me being like, I don't think they. Nah, they did quit. They didn't quit, but they like lost the will to keep going. I think is that different? Is that different from quitting? I guess that's a semantic debate. No, I guess not. Marty is arrogant, and arrogant people are stubborn. They will die with their decisions and refuse to adapt. Same lineup, same bad coaching decisions. His stubbornness is definitely something that will be looked at this offseason and wondering, does Marty have another gear in him as coach? Because I do think that his stubbornness got him very far this year, but his stubbornness did cost him at the end. And that's kind of the thing. Like, can he admit that he made a lot of, he made a lot of good decisions this year, but the bad decisions he made ended up costing him. Put Newhook or Anderson with Suzuki and Slav. Juggle the other 3 lines. One good thing about the series that exposes the passengers who need to leave to improve this team. I'm not, again, I don't ascribe to that theory because the one big issue that you have when you do that, and this is the big issue under Bergevin, was that he constantly thought that he was like getting rid of a player away from winning, when in reality, they were extremely deficient on talented players. So he would like, good example, obviously all these 1-for-1 deals that Bergevin was making, but the team actually never got any better. He just traded one player with warts for another player with warts. Lars Eller for Andrew Shaw, Sergachev for Drouin. You know what I mean? He never actually improved the team. He just constantly changed the dynamic of the team, and that's not. So I think the Canadiens need to be like cautious about getting rid of core players, but they will need to do it to acquire the right player that's going to push them over the edge. Because I think they're a couple players away, and they're going to need to like get rid of. They're going to need to trade core players to get those players. There's always that like one big trade that like kind of, you know, what's going to be that one or two. Dobson, I think they looked at as a big trade. So what's going to be like that other trade? Patrick thought Dobson was overrated. I was not impressed with his playoff. He has a broken thumb. I don't know. He's not the like he's not the player that's gonna like, I don't know. It's tricky with Dobson because I don't think he's getting paid like a number 2 defenseman. I would say 9.5 nowadays is probably a number 2 defenseman, and I don't know if he's like a true number 2. I don't know. He might be a little overpaid, but not overpaid enough that I think it matters. But he's part of the engine of this team, and he Hasn't been healthy, and I don't know if he's been that good. There are two types of fans: those who are there when the team loses, and those who only care when they win. I would not question anybody's fandom here. You guys have hung out with me all freaking season. I give you guys all the credit in the world. Would Hughes trade for Elias Peterson? And Rabinov says, you're the second guy to say this. I think no. I just think that Elias Peterson is just another kind of like, I don't want to call him a soft player, but he's another soft player. I don't think that that's what they, I don't know. I don't think that's what they need. Um, yeah, life's too short. Before you know it, it'll be preseason. Okay, so Schaefer took Dobson's spot on the island. So that's another thing, right? Dobson was a unique opportunity to get him because he didn't really want to resign with the Islanders. He wanted too much money. And then they knew Schaefer was coming, so they were kind of like, okay, well, we can make that move. Geez, what did I miss? How would your test go, She? Tyler Myers is old and done. You don't want Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers plays for the Dallas Stars. He doesn't play for the. Uh, but yeah, have the Habs overachieved? I think so. Like conference final is like a lot for this young team. Uh, which I think puts them in a nice like they got really good experience. So like I'm happy that happened. But yes, I think as someone said before, you really can't count on them to make the conference final again next year. It's very difficult to do that. And I like Dobson, just not 9.5 mils worth. Yeah, but I have to say that the 9.5 contract is like new NHL money. You know what I mean? It looks like a lot to us because he's the highest paid player on the team, but like Alex Tuck is going to make $10 million. Is Alex Tuck a $10 million player? Like probably not, but it's just what guys are going to cost. But yeah, which player would you like to see? What's the score? Oh, it's 3-0. It's 3-0 Canes. It's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Okay, we got another not Peterson person. Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes is a super. When that name, Timur, when that name came up, I was really shocked. But then when you look at like the Leafs and what they need, I was like, maybe, just maybe, Nyes would be great. The only thing about Nyes is, man, and you know what? John Chayka is nothing if not a guy who is extremely confident in his abilities. So I actually do think it's possible that they trade Nyes to the Canadiens. It's not out of the realm of like I think other GMs would like not do it. I think it's potential that Keith Pelly might be like, don't trade with the Canadiens, or certainly don't trade him with the Canadiens. Um, but if they need defense, uh, um, they need puck moving defensemen. Toronto. I'm not saying like I don't know what it would take. Like Ryan Backer, a first, Kapanen, something else, this and that. I don't know if that would be enough. Probably not. Canes at best were a wild card. Yes, they beat the best. They did the best of the first second round, just like they did in 2021. By the way, what happened after that? Well, I don't think they're going to finish. They're not going to bottom out that way, Rick. You have to remember that you guys are like, oh, they tanked after the 2021 season. Well, yeah, because their two best players couldn't play hockey anymore. So obviously they fell apart. Obviously the whole offseason was a huge mess too, but let's be real. If Carey Price and Shea Weber were healthy enough to play in 2022, they wouldn't have finished in last place. They probably would have missed the playoffs, but they wouldn't have finished in last place. Um, so it's a big difference between this team next year, which is going to have like all the same players with some guys added. Nyes is already Leaf trained. He's arrogant and coincided. I don't know what you meant by that. Confident. He won't fit with the Habs core. I don't know. I don't know too much about him as a person, so I can't say that. Anyways, gonna leave and watch in peace. Still have a chance. Hope to see you all Sunday. If not, Timur, thank you so much. Uh, Wonderful season. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I enjoyed our repartee very much. Can Arbor get dressed? I know. Can they just put him in for the second period? I wish they could. I wish they could. Nyes is a good one. This is like a smaller one, but I told everybody my Habs offseason prediction. Habs need more truculence and testosterone. Tony, I agree with you though. I know. I can't believe you're quoting Brian Burke either, but honestly, like watching, they just didn't have like. I think sometimes you just need like a human response. You know what I mean? Like we could talk about Marty's system. We can talk about the guys passing and passing, but at the end of the day, the players are on the ice are like they got to make it happen. It doesn't like you can't just like oh, the game plan's not good, so we're just like gonna completely forget how to play hockey. End of the day, like somebody needed to make something happen, and nobody did. And that's just kind of like Anyways, I told you guys I was gonna tell you they're gonna get Michael Kesselring. I know that's not a big move, little move. I don't know who the big move is. Mason McTavish will be coming. The thing about Mason McTavish is I think the Senators are going to trade Brady Tkachuk, and Mason McTavish is from the Ottawa area. And I just have a feeling, not a one for one deal, but I have a feeling that like Brian Burke is amazing. I miss him greatly. Yeah, me too, actually, to be honest. I miss Brian Burke too. I feel like he's a it'd be nice if he was here. But yeah, the thing about Mason McTavish is that I just think that some other team is going to offer more, possibly Brady Tkachuk. Possibly that's the Rob Thomas move. Jacob Truba is an interesting one. He's an unrestricted free agent. Um he did want to leave Winnipeg though. He may not want to play in Canada. I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak to that, and that was also Winnipeg. But if Jacob Truba is available on a short-term deal because he's pretty old, but a Jacob Truba type, I think they can't look away that possibility. We need some big meanies. I agree. Truba's not leaving the States because of his wife. That was the scenario when with Winnipeg when he left Winnipeg. I don't know what his scenario in life is like now. That was a long time ago, admittedly, but yes, that's my feeling as well. Kessering's a 5'6" man, not a fault, just what I believe he is. How does he help? He's yeah, it's a small move. That's not my big move, Kelly. My Habs off-season prediction is they will try to overcorrect to satiate the ravenous Canadian hockey market, and they will perform progressively worse every season after this run. Locked and loaded. You may be being facetious, but you are not wrong. That is actually a gigantic problem with the Canadian market. They listen to us idiots and they make stupid ass moves. Uh, Trading for goons who are past their prime. So they need to not do that. How about Nico Hischier if they don't extend him? Nico Hischier would be perfect. Just don't know they have what the Devils want. That's the issue. Hischier would be great, but I just don't know if they have what they want. There are 12 teams looking for a 2C, not just the Habs. Yeah, correct. They might not get one until like later, to be honest. I would love to have. How about not a personnel change, but a system change? So they're not playing the perimeter all the time. I agreed with you. I don't know what you're talking about. Wherever Arbor lands, I think he will make Hughes regret the way Marty treated him. I also feel like they would regret that move a lot if they let him go. I hope they don't do it. A name that crossed my Erickson Ek. Erickson Ek would be awesome. I just don't think Minnesota's trading him. I feel like they have such a huge problem with the cap that like he's a pretty like to have like a fake number one center like Erickson Ek, who's kind of like more of a two, but can kind of pick it as a one. The name that I saw yesterday was Anders Lee. Kind of intrigued me a little bit as a big second line player. Veteran, but like can still score 20 goals. Big leadership. I don't know. If you can't get somebody in a trade, I think the Canadians do need to explore maybe a guy on a short-term deal. Just to like change up the vibes a bit. Marty has single-handedly ensured that Jacky won't sign with the Canadians, and I hope it costs him his job. Well, I don't want them to lose Marty and Jacky. So I hope that they can reach some kind of oh my god, Carolina already almost scoring here. So Bob wants to have to change the ozone play, and Derek wants them to play the change the D zone play. So Carolina, we're following. We're following. Does anyone care? No, to be honest, not really. They may shed salary to sign Quinn and go after the brothers. Al, if they do that and Erickson X got a chance, oh baby. Oh baby. Is Gooley just like dead now? Is he in mucho pain? Oh, Gooley absolutely busted up his knee the last game. He should not be playing tonight. But I guess They probably looked at his knee and they're like, it's not going to get worse. So just play. There's one game left. But Gooley should not play tonight. Need some crash and bang fourth line. They definitely do. Just hot takes. We love the hot takes. I'd rather lose like this than eliminate OT. It's not painful when the game is over after one period. I don't know, Ryan. I'm in pain. I wonder if Marty will declare Dobesh the number one goalie right off the bat to start next season. I think Marty's ego will try to dampen Dobesh's spirit right off the bat to start the season. Yeah, I don't. I want. That's a very good question. I don't know. Marty is arrogant. Yo, you guys are on the Marty is arrogant. Damn. Losing in the first is the same pain, just more time to cope. The Canes' fourth line destroyed the Habs. Okay. Here's my question for you guys. So I'm curious to know if you think that internally right now, are there any guys that you're like, this is like these guys are going to be part of an elite fourth line? Oh my god, when they made the Grey Cup like every year and kept losing, that was painful. More stubborn than arrogant. Yeah, stubborn is the word I would use, but he is a little arrogant too though. Marty is also a young coach, and I hope he learned a lot this playoff because I think he made a lot of great moves in the first two rounds, and I think it caught up with him in the third round. 32 teams in the league, only four remaining. Our kids are one of them. Marty got us here. Shame on all the haters. Yeah, I'm like, I definitely am have things that I think that Marty, uh, his inexperience got in the way at the end, but it was a really good season. I think in this once like the anger of this third round goes away, I think we'll feel pretty good. Somebody got a high stick. Who's that? Who's that duder? Joe Valeno gets high sticked. They need 2, 3 players for the bottom six. Yeah, they need like. It's funny because they have a lot of forwards under contract. They have a lot of forwards. They just need to like tweak the mix a little bit. Some guys are gonna come back, some guys won't. I think Valeno's gone. I think Doc is gone. What about Tuck? I assume you mean Luke Tuck and not Alex Tuck, because Alex Tuck's obviously not a bottom six. Luke Tuck is like either gonna be a fourth liner or he's just never gonna make it. I think he's got the like size to do it. It's just a matter of like will any of the rest of his game show up in the NHL? Doesn't look like it right now. But again, if he can learn to be a fourth liner, Line will free up 9 mil, but all that money is going to Hudson because Hudson's new con or Hudson. No, who's got the new contract coming in? Hudson's got the new contract coming in. So remember that lots of the money is going to be earmarked for Hudson, Demidov. No, Line is not coming back. The money is freed up. Ugh. Yeah, Line is gone. He's not under contract anymore. He is free to. Oh man, Caulfield. Yeah, exactly. Hudson's new contract's replacing that. So the money's shifting. Just like how Demidov is going to eventually sign a contract and that'll replace the Gallagher um, Anderson ones. Matheson's getting a raise. He is, but I would say that it's like an inflationary raise. Actually don't think he's getting how many. Let's take a vote. How many like Marty? How many dislike? Getting tired of one side or the other thinking they know everything. Demidov not till 2027. One, two. Yeah, no, but this is gonna. That's what I'm saying. In a year, they're gonna resign him probably this offseason for a year, like they did with Hudson. You need to trade for some players who are not afraid to shoot. Get Evan Rodriguez. Evan Rodriguez is my guy, who just shoots from everywhere. Just another. You would address the Jack Eye boys and Sat Valeno. I like it. I don't. I mean, I think we know who likes and who dislikes Marty. You're more in the dislike at the moment. The thing is, he's not going anywhere. He's going to sign an extension and he's going to stay for quite a while longer. The cap is going up by how much? Like 10 mil? Something. It's quite a lot. That's it. For Dobish getting hung out to dry tonight. The dreaded 4 goal lead. That's funny. Yeah, why not put Fowler in at this point? Just get him some experience. Leadership is dead meat right now. I think that's kind of the disappointing part, Alex, of this series is that their best players did not really show. They did not play well. That's what makes it worrisome. If the Canadians like best players like did everything they could, and the Canadians just like didn't have the depth, or some of their like older guys couldn't keep up, or whatever, and you're like, okay, whatever, they're a young team, they don't have a lot of players, like it's fine. But the fact that their best players just like did nothing, it's definitely like casts a bit of a cloud over what happened here. Because it's like, man, you guys were so good in the regular season. They were like the best. They were honestly on in some statistical analyses like one of, if not the best lines in the league. And then in the playoffs, man, have just been for 3 straight series is that they've just not at 5-on-5 have just been like a complete loss on offense. I guess Hugo made the right decision not to mortgage our future for short-term rentals. Alex, I 100% agree. It just wasn't. It wasn't the season. This was a lovely, lovely playoff run. They're in the conference final. It's great. Lots of learning experiences, but this was not the team that was gonna do it. Suzuki didn't do much getting the trailer on the goal. I mean, between that and the bad penalty he took so far in this period, he looks like, I don't know. Their heart and soul was in the press box. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, did I think Gallagher had? I mean, assume you're talking about Gallagher. Did Gallagher have like anything to give in this series? Probably not. But I can't say that Gallagher would have been any worse than Kirby Doc, Joe Valeno. Like a lot of guys just did bubkiss in this series, and Gallagher could have been in there. At least he would have given a try. You know what I mean? He maybe would have been that guy. He maybe would have been that guy to get that forecheck going, or who knows what. Hughes in early March didn't believe the Habs would get past the first round. That was before the Dobesh factor. Yeah, there's a little bit of like, I don't think that this playoff run has necessarily. I don't think Hughes and Gordon are going into the offseason being like, okay, we did it. This is the team. You know what I mean? Like, I think the giant holes that they had already identified are still there. Um, and it's just going to be business. Honestly, like tomorrow, it's going to be business as usual for Hughes and Gordon. I think that they're super. I'm sure super like pleased with how things went, but I don't think it changed the trajectory of this team at all. They're gonna like still try to make this team better, still try to like add better pieces to get the right mix. So I don't think you guys should feel too worried that they're like gonna rest on their laurels. I really don't think they will. I hate it when Habs chant Olay, freaking soccer chant, but to hear Carolina chanting, I kind of like it. The Canes fans are mocking them. I assume that's what's going on. These guys have shown no pride. I think it's legit to question what happened to the core of this team. Now, I'm not saying that this core is like not really good and really talented. Like, I do think they're really good and really talented, and I think they've got a lot of potential. But I think you can question, like, holy crap, like, this team is kind of built around five guys, and those five guys did not play well. Hudson played well, like, until this series. So not giving up yet, but if we lose, who are we cheering for? Canes or Vegas? I say Canes. I'm going to cheer for the Canes too. They for all us talking about what the Habs didn't do, the Canes are just crazy good. They're a crazy good team. They're really good. Marty should be fired. Man, some of you guys are really like putting this one on Marty tonight. So apparently the strategy for tonight's game was to make it look like Jack I might play, and that was it. Nothing else new to report. That is uh kind of what happened. Yeah. They didn't know if Gooley was gonna play, and then he played. Hughes won't fire Marty any more than Gorton would fire Hughes. None of these guys are going anywhere. They are the Fox. They are this core's foxhole buddies. And also, Marty made it to the third round of the playoffs, guys. They're not going to fire a coach that made it to the third round. There's definitely lots of things you can criticize about Marty. And we will criticize these things about Marty. Over the summer, Marty's got things that he needs to get better at. But they did make the third round. Like, I'd like to see a new defensive system next season. Swap Vincent and Robida and Rabinov. I've heard this a couple of times. I don't know if Vincent is interested in being an assistant coach. I think that he probably thinks, because to me, he's a coach in waiting for either the Habs or another team. And I have a feeling that Laval might think it's a better spot to be in, rather than so he can go from there directly to an NHL club rather than being an assistant. I think that's like it would be a great contest for the Gazette to have in the offseason. Who can come up with a new chance to replace Ole? You guys have a lot of thoughts on Ole, and I am thinking about summer content. I think I might do something about Ole, Bob, just because you said it. So you can take some credit when you see it this summer. Vegas should win in 6 or 7 games. I don't know, Alex. This Carolina team is like, they are a pain in the freaking butt. Arbor's better than Struble. I agree. Has outplayed Gooley. I thought Gooley had a really good playoff up until this series. By the way, it's Carolina power play. I didn't even say it, but you guys know. I've never liked Marty. I I I I think I'm still on the like. I like Marty. I think he's brought a very new energy to coaching that I think other teams are going to try to emulate quite a bit, and it's good that the Canadians are on the forefront of this. But I do think there are elements of his coaching that like need to be refined a little bit. Yeah, you got. I look. I understand. I want Arbor to play too, and I do think Arbor is a better defenseman than Struble. But like, EF's right. Like he's still only gonna play like 3 minutes. Like the sixth defenseman doesn't play that much, and it's not the like. That's not the reason that this team like won or lost. Like this team lost because the five players that they've built around were very bad in this series, and that's really like my takeaway from this. Marty's the reason the core players all signed team friendly contracts. He's not going anywhere. That's a very good point, Rabinov. Marty St. Louis has been a big draw for not just the players on this team to stay, but players in other organizations. The Canadians might actually have a really good chance to get unrestricted free agents. Not that there are any good ones this offseason, but I do think that they are becoming a good destination for free agents, taxes notwithstanding, because of Marty. That is also why I don't like Carolina. And the Nick Wallin goal off the Bill Lindsay face-off mistake by Michel Terrier. That one too. Is this game going fast or is it my imagination? Time flies when you're. What's the opposite of fun, Karen? Time flies when you're miserable. Time flies when you're imagining the roster for next season. This is the first year Marty has faced pressure to win. He will improve as well. That's a really good point. This is the first year that the Canadiens have had any expectations, and they exceeded those expectations. So it's like pretty good, something to hang your hat on. They out hit Tampa with Jack Eye and out hit Buffalo with Jack Eye, and then got out hit by Carolina without Jack Eye. Jack Eye definitely did provide a good, even in his very limited ice time, did provide like 5 or 6 hits every time. With all respects, just who came other than Dobson and his $8.3 million demand? I said that they're going to be in demand. I fully believe that to be the case. Other players have talked about it. If they don't want to come here, it's probably going to be tax related more than team related. But the entire management team, including Marty, have signed extensions. Get a grip. They're not going anywhere. No one's going anywhere. I Rick, I'm not going to ascribe to this feeling that the Canadians are like going nowhere and a mess. Like you're never going to be able to convince me of that. The Canadians definitely have lots of places to improve. But like I'm just not at that mode yet where I think that they're down a wrong path. I don't think they are. A whole 9 shots. Marty forgives Matheson, Hudson, and Dobish. I think one big key for this team going forward is to not play Matheson as much and to find a top four where he does not have to be the guy. Because I think um, Matheson has a lot of good in his game, but I do think that he gets stretched. No coach has a forever job. That's totally true, Nations. But again, they just made the third round of the playoffs. They're not going to fire him. Like this season is a success for the Habs. There's a lot more to go, and they still have to get a lot better. But this season is a success. It's not a failure. They're gonna be sitting down and looking at this team and be like, okay, we definitely need a second line center. Definitely need more grit. Definitely need to figure out if this core needs another player, a shakeup, or whatever, because they didn't play that well in the playoffs. So like, well, we'll look at that. But they're not going to look at this off season and be like, man, Marty didn't play Jack Eye. Better better fire him before he makes more mistakes. Like, nah, this team is like what it is, and they're gonna have to like get better, but they're not at the point where they're gonna be subtracting things because they think that like this is not the Marc Bergevin years where Marc Bergevin, in his heart of hearts, would have preferred to clone himself 21 times and have no one else play. Mark believed in one kind of player, which was him. And that's just not like how this is rolling. We all keep saying change up the lines, but honestly, we don't have the depth and talent that would result in a significant improvement. That is also true, Bob. They are missing second line talent, and the first line has been effectively stomped. So there's no scoring. No coach during a rebuild has stayed when it's time to win a cup. Nobody ever. Why do you see Marty has a golden parachute? They fired Jean Perron the year after winning a cup because, again, Jean Perron, nobody liked him. They didn't like him. They all wanted him gone, and he was gone. I'm not saying that Marty's never leaving. Again, you guys have a weird passage of time. He's not being fired this off season, is what I'm telling you. If the team is garbage next year, they might fire him for sure. But they're not firing him this off season. I can't speak to when he will go. Obviously, at some point he'll leave because no coach is here forever. But you guys are like suggesting that he be fired, and I'm telling you that that will not happen this off season. I'm not saying that he won't be fired one day. He might be fired one day, but I can't speak to I'm not going to tell you, oh, he's going to be fired in 2 years because I don't know what's going to happen. If I could tell you what's going to happen in 2 years, I would not be here. I would be in Vegas. But you guys are talking like Marty's the problem. I'm just here to tell you he's definitely here next year. If the team completely tanks and they're unhappy uh with his job, they might revisit that. But for the time being, they're very happy with their coach and they're very happy. Grit won't do you any good if the coach doesn't like grit. That is something he's going to have to figure out. He's going to have to figure out like a fourth line that plays the system he wants, but they do need a physical line. That's what I'm saying. You're saying like he should be fired, but he's just not going to be fired. I, Matheson lacks humility in his play. Always choosing the flashiest play reminds me of Subban when he got ran out of town. Oh, I don't think Matheson's like that. Um, Matheson's game is with his legs. It's like the one thing he's got. It's the one thing that Matheson does better than anyone else is skate. So he uses his legs a lot, which does cost him some time. But for the most part, I think it ends up being the right play. Oh my God, really? You posted in July that Marty will be gone in 20 months, starting beginning of the season. So I mean, possible. Hey, if the team's not good, he's on the chopping block like everybody else. But right now, I'm telling you, the team is like looking at this like, okay, we are on the right track. They're not looking at this and thinking we're on the wrong track. Anyways, Carolina power play coming up. I think he's a great guy. He likes Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld, but as a coach, I do not want him around any longer. I'm really sorry to say it. It makes me feel bad. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be here. He's going to be here, and it's going to be up to him to prove to you guys that he can adapt. Maybe he can't, and then he goes. It's possible. But I do think that there were some aspects that he didn't do super great at, and he'll have to atone for those and learn for next season. Can only assume that if Marty is back next year, he'll be sitting on an enormous hot seat. Not only do I think that he'll be back, I mean, I know he'll be back. There's 100% certainty he'll be back. I also don't think that he's on the hot seat until the team. If the team doesn't make the playoffs next year, he'll be on the hot seat the year after. But I don't think, unless the team absolutely like shits the bed next year, I don't think he'll be on the hot seat, even if they don't make the playoffs next year. 20 months. So, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what's going to happen in 20 months, but that would be about the timeline. That's a pretty good assessment of the timeline of like if they don't play well when like the hot seat would get hot. I think this season absolutely has bought him next season, barring some kind of meltdown. Offensive zone time 70% of the time. That sounds about right. It's been about 60-40 this season. It is indeed 5-0, as Ryan Katz says. Gostisbehere. I don't know how he got that close to the net, but he did. And this is an embarrassing ending. This is a just a really, really bad way to go. What can I tell y'all? We got a Vegas prediction. I think Vegas will be Fowler starting the third. You might as well, man. I guess it's just, I don't know. Yeah, bench Arbor. That's something they need. Move a guy out the crease. That's why I'm saying Kesselring, guys. That's why I'm on the Kesselring bandwagon. He might be that. But yeah, 5-0. Second period in the books, and just another. They're singing "Ole Ole" again. Just an embarrassing. Tom Dundon will be real happy with himself, and he should be real happy with his team. To be honest, his team played excellent hockey, and beat. Vegas is heavy and rested. Frankly, Carolina's pretty rested too. I don't think they worked. I mean, they worked pretty hard this series, but I don't think they have not played that much hockey. Uh yeah, it's 5-0 Canes. This is an absolute drubbing. What can be said? All right, here's my question for you guys. All right. Serenaded by the wonderful chant. They're sticking it now. If I'm the Canes, I would have done it too. I would have done it too. Okay, here's my question, my intermission question for you guys. Does how this series went down affect how you think about the season? Because I think we all thought, like they still made the third round. They did much better in the regular season than you guys thought. They did well, but did you did the way that this series went down, because it was so one-sided, Does it change the way you feel about the team? That's what I'm wondering. I'll wait for a couple more answers here before I pop it up. Okay. Okay. We got now they shoot. Yeah, exactly. Now that they're down 5-0. Total humiliation, Derek says. Get a freaking goal. Being shut out twice in a row to lose this really hurts. Bruise them up at least for Vegas, right? Have a little fire. Fire Marty, Filterless Bear says. Habs need a true second line center. Alex, we knew that before heading into this series. We knew that heading into the season. The Habs will need a second line center. They know it. I know it. You know it. This playoff didn't change that though. We knew that one. Bruise them up for whom? For Vegas. Vegas are in the finals. Nope. You're not affected. The youngest team in the league keeps getting better. It's fun to watch. The series wasn't that fun to watch, but yes, the rest of it was fun to watch. Karen's son is listening to Elvis and playing Minecraft. That's a fun mix. I like that. Happy trails until next season, Kelly says. It's been a great season of progress. It'll feel that way tomorrow, but it's a little tough tonight. That's how I feel too, Kelly. I gotta say. No, Karen doesn't feel. This series has done nothing to do with the season. This series is Hudson and Dobesh. The season went well for the most part, other than the off and on switch. Love these guys. Habinations, no, I want to change. Only way to change was to lose and lose bad. I got my mission. But what do you want to change, Habinations? Like, what do you want them to actually do? It sounds like you want them to just like get rid of a bunch of players, but like, who's gonna play? This was the Bergevin years. 10 years of him being like, I don't like this guy. Get rid of him. Are you gonna bring anyone in? No, I'm not gonna bring anyone in. We're just gonna fucking deal with like a garbage team full of third liners. That you're and you can't just say they have to be like the 70s Habs. Because yes, obviously the 70s Habs would be amazing. But how do you get there, Habinations? That's what I want to know from you. How do they get a little closer to being the 70s Habs? Time to play Metallica's Sad But True. That's a good track. Do it. Vegas would fire their coach after this. They've done it for less. But Vegas have never had a young team. They've always been like, go, 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 go. The thing about the Vegas thing is that the Vegas can sign all the best players because there's no taxes in Nevada. So they can always be super aggressive with free agency. Canadians will never be able to do that. I think Canadians are going to be a better destination for free agents, but I don't think that they're going to be on par of like Vegas where they could just turn over the whole team every year. Bob says, season was enjoyable, playoff success a bonus, but I am disappointed how badly they performed at the end. They hit a wall and could not recover. They all spent in the summer weight training, putting on 15 pounds. You can't get taller, but you can bulk up. Ray Holden, hey Ray. No, overall done well over 82 regular season games, 15 playoff games. Unfortunately, played 4 real bad ones to end the year. That's some Toronto kind of thinking. Yeah, that's like everybody's talking about like Toronto, like, oh, I don't want the Habs to end up like Toronto. Nobody wants the Habs to end up like Toronto. But what really went down in Toronto? I feel like what went down in Toronto is just like a different scenario where they just locked up a bunch of guys. They locked up 4 guys, couldn't really get anybody else, and then those 4 guys weren't that good. So the Canadiens are not in that position where even if you don't like the main guys they've locked up, they're not costing you like half your cap space. So you can still go out and find complementary players for those guys. Some players are too small. I would trade them for the grit we need. Guys like Caulfield and Hudson for high picks like McKenna that's a few years away. Gavin McKenna, I don't know, dude. He's not a big, powerful guy. He really is not. I think he's a very talented player. Gavin McKenna's not even Slavkovsky tough. And I don't find Slavkovsky to be that tough. I do think the team needs to get grittier, but I don't think they should trade Caulfield and Hudson. I think they need to find guys to surround them, but I don't think that they'll ever be able to make. If you get rid of Caulfield and Hudson, you'll never make up for that talent, and you're not going to have enough talent to win. So I think you need to add grit, but I don't think you do it at the expense of Caulfield and Hudson. I would play Demidov with Slav and Suzuki. I would like to see Demidov potentially play on the first line next year. They need another guy. They need another top six guy, and then they can start like shifting those lines up a little bit. But I would love to see Demidov play with Suzuki. McKenna is not a franchise player, not even close. You are going to be very sadly mistaken when you watch him play. He's not. He was at 16 years old. He's not at 18 years old. Gavin McKenna is not a franchise player. Not even. He's not. He might not even be the first round. He might not even be the first overall pick. I don't think Toronto is. I don't think Toronto is 100% that he's the guy to even draft. I think they're. I think they might get the Reed guy instead. Matthews is a cancer most likely. That's what's wrong with Toronto. I am not. I mean, I like. I've always liked Marner a lot better than Matthews, so I feel like they should have gotten rid of Matthews and kept Marner. But they've always been kind of a like a. They have always had. They've always been a four top six guy team, and they've always lacked that secondary offense. St. Louis not playing Wi-Fi and Gallagher's a major fumble. They all have skill, no grit, need more dogs in the lineup. I don't disagree necessarily, but I also don't think that that would have been the difference. Gallagher's maybe would have helped a little bit, but I don't think given like how the series went down that either of those guys would have been the difference. Powerful enough to break some guy's jaw. That is true. Gavin McKenna did break a guy's jaw. Uh, Vegas, three cup finals with three different coaches. Vegas is like crazy. I've no one has ever tried like the Vegas. I think Nashville tried the Vegas model like 2 years ago when they got Stamkos and it didn't work out. Vegas is like on its own level. They just like keeping super aggressive. It's really I don't know how that like it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. I don't know if any other team can replicate that. So far, no other team has replicated that, and I don't think the Canadians could. But it's cool. It's cool to see. Vegas are just like they're like light years ahead of what they of everybody else with what they can do. But I just don't know how being outside of Nevada you can replicate that. Da, 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 da. Fowler can play next year. Let Doby go down with his teammates. This is part of the learning process. I think yeah, I think they're gonna look. Marty's been loyal to his guys, and I think he wants Dobesh to play till the end. At this point, you know the Habs aren't gonna win, so just let him play till the end here. Slavkovsky has a glass jaw. He needs to get tougher. See, to me, when we talk about the team needs to get tougher, and I think there's some toughness internally that needs to like come out. Slavkovsky and Gouli being two big elements for me. Slavkovsky needs to like learn what you got to do to win in the playoffs and take this experience and hopefully improve. I will say Slavkovsky improved a lot from year 1 to year 2 to year 3. So he has it in him to get better. So I think now he needs to learn how to be better in the playoffs. They were a regular season team, great regular season team, and won 2 7-game series, but playoffs is a different beast. Hughes has work to do to get this team to the final. As we've learned now versus Carolina, there's a lot of work they need to do to get to the finals. It's a different ball game totally, for sure. Add grit, but leave one of the toughest, most feared guys in the league in the stands. What the F, Marty? Yeah. There is no team I could ever put before the Habs. McKenna is not a franchise player. I agree. He's not a franchise player. He's likely the first overall pick this year. He's not even guaranteed to be that. Good player. Hey, he's going to be a great player, I think. But yeah, not the win or lose tonight. Hardy hard. Thanks. Hey, thank you. And thank you for joining, Bob, this year. This round will show Hugo exactly what they need to do. Great education for them. I agree, Karen. I agree. They definitely have now. They cannot go into the offseason being like, yeah, our center ice position's great. Yeah, our toughness is great. Like, no, they definitely know now what they need to do. Great season. Just hate to lose the way we are. Just a total beatdown. Yep. This series wouldn't have gotten to 3-1 with Arbor in every game, and we'd be leading in hits. They would be leading in hits. But also, I'm tired of the Arbor squad. The sixth, seventh, or eighth D man's not the issue. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Arbor wouldn't have made the top line play better. I think Arbor would have helped a little bit, but he wouldn't have helped the first line at all. Vegas got loaded up first year in the league with that expansion draft and haven't looked back. They just were on a different playing field. They they found a loophole in the system, played it perfectly, and now they're laughing. They're laughing. They're great. I just there's no one can replicate that. But Vegas are great. Arbor can clear the crease. Can he though? He's actually not that good at that. I wish he were better. But they do. He would have been better. But again, he wouldn't have made the first line wouldn't have scored anymore, which is the reason why they're losing. It's unfair what's happening to Dobesh. Slav needs boxing lessons. Oh, I like that. Do we let Fowler get creamed as well? I don't think so. You want to Patrick Waugh him? Different scenario. Different scenario. It's the playoffs, not a random night in Detroit where everybody hates each other. It was a great ride. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it looks like this is going to be the end. So if you guys have any questions or predictions for the off season, now's the time. We've got one period left in this. Only two or three guys left from that Vegas team. They make ruthless changes to stay competitive. No, that's it. But Derek, they got that initial burst of guys, and they've been so good at like turning this guy to Mark Stone, turning this guy to Eichel, turning this guy to, like Pacioretty, and then to this, and then to that. Like unprecedented. They are ruthless. I don't think any other team could replicate that because of what they began with. Sorry, folks. Why is it that you want to cut the throat of the Habs MVP? Dobish doesn't owe the front a freaking thing. Let him sit. You want another 1-2 goals scored on him? I don't think that it's as big a deal if he stays into the end and gives up another couple goals. I really don't. I think, you know, as you guys see here, Dobish deserves to stay in. Wouldn't be here without him. Give him the dignity to finish the series in playoffs. That might be more important to him. I don't know. You know, Slav needs to stop thinking he's Rick Nash. Still love him though. That's a very good point, Tony. Rick Nash is an interesting comparison because Rick Nash super talented, but despite being a big body, was not a very like not graceful with it, and he took a real beating, and his career didn't last as long as it probably should have. Slav does need to look at Rick Nash's career as like a potential warning sign if you let yourself get beat. Even if you're a big man, you can't let yourself get beaten too many times. Put your hat on in third period. I don't have a hat near me. No. Oh, I do have a hat. No, 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 no hat, no hat. How will I find you next season? I'm really worried. Brain damage. Karen, at the very least, I will at least do like something here to next year to tell you guys if we go on to another thing, where to go to the other thing, Karen. At the very least, I'll do one. I'll do like a preseason game where I'll guide you to the next place. If there's another place, there should be another place. Is Stone an FA? No, I believe Mark Stone is under contract for a million years. We're at the off season because my phone is on Puckpedia and is going nowhere. Oh, Mark Stone's only under contract for. He has indeed come to the end of his contract, basically. Have the Canadiens ever been eliminated this bad? Last year was pretty bad. What was worse, last year or this year? Just try with that. Okay, fine. I'll put a hat on. Hold on. There you go. Hat on. I want the team who beat the Habs to win the cup. I can't cheer for Vegas. They treat their players like dirt. If they're in the East, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs. Go Canes. Okay, so we're back. LTIR Stone. That's another thing. The Gold Knights are so good that they could kind of just park Mark Stone for the regular season and they bring him out for the playoffs. All right, 20 more minutes. Barring a 6-goal outburst. If the hat gets 5 goals now, we'll never see Eric's head naked again. You guys, I rarely am not wearing a hat, so it was already. All right, I just want to see the Habs put up a good effort. I just want to see them score a goal. Getting shut out twice would be really crap. They are cooked. They are indeed cooked this season. Barring the most insane miracle ever, will be over in 20 minutes. 18:30. We can pull the goalie. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun too. If we don't see you again, I wish you well and good luck. I wish you well as well. Habinations, thank you so much for joining. I mean, I'll always be on the MontrealGazette.com, so you can always go to the MontrealGazette.com. Hockey Inside Out's going nowhere. And yeah, we'll just see what the live blog brings next year. It'll exist in some form. I don't know what, but we shall see. Carrier is too small since we have Hudson. Only room for 1-6 sub-6 defenseman. I agree with you. I agree with you about that. Carrier is under contract for 1 year. I don't think he'll last beyond that. And honestly, he's kind of just like Reinbacker insurance. Reinbacker ought to take Carrier's job next year at some point. Just win the period, Ryan says. I know, that's all I want. Shots on goal isn't that bad. When 15 shots isn't bad, then you've had a rough go of it. Man, it is also raining a lot in Montreal. I don't know if it's raining where you guys are. Will they get that? Bring back the comment section. Yes, Ryan. I swear to God they will. I know. It literally took the whole season. It's a complete fucking joke. But yes, they will. It's tech issues. There's like other tech issues. Yeah, whatever happened to the comment section in the Hockey Inside Out article? So Kelly, they changed the website, so they moved us to a new website, and the Via Fora system that you guys used to sign in broke, therefore not allowing you to comment or sign in properly. And they have just been frittering away the season trying to fix it. It is going to come back, but Post Media, it's low on the priority of things for Post Media to fix. But they are moving the entire network to this new website. And they're definitely not going to let the Toronto Sun go without comments. So they are going to fix it eventually. It's just a matter of like, that was a lot of passes right there. That was too bad. So the odds there'll be a comment section, I mean, I'm going to say like 70%. Dobson, Reinbacher, Jack, should be our right D for next year. Hudson isn't good on the right side. Arbor's bomb could be dangerous from the right. I don't mind that. I don't mind Jack on the right side. I agree with you. And Hudson definitely shouldn't be on the right side. I also agree with you. Um, but this is why I think they're going to acquire a right-handed defenseman to give them four. So then you add Carrier to that mix, and then you have four, and hopefully Reinbacher. But mostly, hopefully Reinbacher takes. Hopefully Reinbacher just takes the job next year. This team will be a lot better if Reinbacher just grabs the job and takes it, because he's exactly, I think, what they need on the defense. I too also miss the comments. That's why I spend most of my time on YouTube now, where I can talk to you guys. Arbor will get an offer sheet, and if he's smart, he'll take it. I do think that that's a pretty big concern as well for me, because I just think some team is gonna really value him highly and be willing to pay him like an amount the Canadiens just like will not want to meet. Struble will be gone. Only reason why Struble stays is if because he's like he's not he's under contract and he doesn't make a lot of money, and maybe they keep him as like a seventh or eighth defenseman, but he can't be in their top six next year. Carrier should not be a Hab next year. The thing is that they don't know if Reinbacher can take the job yet. So they need to wait. They need to wait a little bit and see if Reinbacher and Engstrom can take a step forward, if they can acquire somebody else. But I think Carrier needs to be there for insurance, Reinbacher insurance purposes. Yeah, here's a good question. Who's leaving? Who do you think's played their last? Who's played their last game? Who's played their last game for Montreal? I hope to catch you here, not going back to the Gazette. Pretty rich since I live 4 hours from Montreal. Yeah, if you live far away, I get it. I get why the subscription's a lot. I think like no matter what happens, I'll definitely like pop in here. Reinbacher is 6'3", heavy and fast. He's ready. I think so too. I think Reinbacher is ready too. So yeah. Okay, here. Who's played their last game for the Habs? So we got Line, 100%. He's gone. Gallagher has played his last game. They're going to have to figure out what to do with this contract, but I agree. I think he's gone as well. What do you guys think about Doc? Struble, you guys, a lot of you said. Jack, obviously, a lot of you guys said. We don't have to rehash that. Is Doc done? What about who's another guy that maybe? I mean, Montembeau we know is done. Here we go. Doc, Galley, Veleno, Line. Veleno's another one that I think is gone for sure. The only reason why Veleno would come back is just as a 13 forward if they like at the minimum salary and they're like whatever. But honestly, he scored so little that I think he was a liability even the limited time he played. Doc is coming back. I'm not so sure. I think he might not come back. I don't know. I think Gooley can be part of a package. That's an interesting idea, Adam. It's funny, Adam, because I think when the Canadians are shopping around, I think other teams will ask for Caden Gooley, and the Canadians have quite a few defensemen and might want to change up the mix. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they get an interesting offer for Gooley that they consider. So I do think that Gooley can be part of a package. I think you are definitely bang on. If Doc comes back, I'm done. I don't think he's coming back. Arbor's become a distraction. That's another thing they might consider. Would you trade Montreal's first, Engstrom and Gallagher for Peterson? They wouldn't do that. The the Montreal's yeah, the Montreal's first overall pick is 29th. It's not worth much. Yeah, Struble I think is done. Just because they're gonna improve. It's a bit like with Harris. Remember Jordan Harris? Like I like Jordan Harris. He was an alright player, but like as the team got better, there was no room for him. Peterson is soft. Yeah, I just feel like Peterson at like the price he costs. I'm just like, I don't know. Struble, Carrier, Gallagher, Doc. Yeah. Dano as trade bait too. I mean, if they get another center, what happens to Dano? That's an interesting. I mean, I think he stays just because they'll always need depth at center, but I don't think he has trade value either. I mean, oh well, he might, to be honest, like as a rental later. But yeah, I'm not sure about Elias Peterson. How do you guys feel about like I know he's small, but like Blake Coleman, I kind of like as a player. The fans would riot at Jack Eilis. It's a very touchy subject. For what is their sixth defenseman. It's a touchy subject. Age is a factor of Deno after next season. Well, he's got 1 year left, and then I think he's gone. His career might be, honestly, his career might be over. Like who knows how much longer he'll want to play after the end of that deal? Because whatever deal comes after, he's not going to make as much money. So if he feels like he's made enough money, he may not. He may not want to stick around. Ah, we got a Canes fan here. Mike, congratulations. Uh y'all were better. Y'all were better, and I think you guys have a very good chance of winning the Stanley Cup. So please enjoy it. Um yeah, you guys did you guys were really impressive. I just don't like Dino's contract. If he was cheaper, I wouldn't mind him. Yes, he's overpaid for what he makes, but because his contract is not long term, it's like he's gone in a year. So it's not too bad. Anderson wasn't tested these last two games. Last two games, he wasn't tested the last 4 games. Oh, we got a Vegas fan. Go Vegas, Rabinov says. Well, not a Vegas fan, but he's moving on to Vegas after the Habs lost. What else do we got here? More Marty stuff. Who else could be on the move? Newhook has 1 year left. I like him, but if they can get something, trade him. Yeah, he's Adam. He's another guy that I'm like, I liked what I saw from Newhook, but he's got a ceiling. He's not a guy. He's a third line guy. He's not a second line guy. It's fine if he's here, but he's not like an essential player. Dano could be the face-off coach. He'd be a very good one. All right, the other question that I think because I think we all kind of like in agreement about a lot of the peripheral. Who is the defenseman that AC love that we traded for the great Drouin? Sergachev. Rick, you're thinking about Sergachev. Probably available, to be honest. Utah is gonna try to be like Vegas light, and they're gonna be super aggressive. But yeah, would you guys trade a core player? Would definitely trade a core guy. Nobody's off limits if the return makes sense. Yeah, if you could get like you were talking about Caulfield earlier, right? Caulfield for Heishier. You'd have to think about it. If they offer Heishier for Caulfield, Caulfield's a great player, but so is Heishier. There are moves. You're right. No one's off limits. There are certain moves that you're like, fuck, maybe, just maybe, if that possibility opens up. You know? Yeah, you can't say no to any possibility with these Habs. Uh, Obviously you're not like looking to trade a core guy, but if you can get a player that you think is even better, Caulfield for Logan Cooley. I'm not that sold on Cooley, to be honest. He's another small guy. Not sure about Cooley. I think he's a good player, but that's not the kind of guy that I would trade Caulfield for. I would trade Matheson to make room for Arbor. Matheson's contract makes him pretty unmovable now. Gooley has incredible value. I think so too. I do think that Gooley, not out of the realm of possibility that if they get like another franchise type core player, that Gooley's part of that. Suzuki for Jack Hughes. That would be fun. That would be fun. Does Jack Hughes have a no trade? If Jack Hughes has a no trade, he's not waving it to come here, but that'd be fun. The refs are giving us a chance to get a goal. Just one, please. Let's talk getting top four one-on-one with the bit package. Would you trade Dobesh? Oh my god. Would you guys trade Dobesh? Yoicks. I don't even want to think about it. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, oh my god, what would it take? Trade Marty for Paul Maurice. I love Paul Maurice. Montreal desperately needs a second center. Cooley would be perfect with Demidov. But that just makes them too small up the middle, though, doesn't it? Like, I just don't think Caulfield for Cooley changes the like complexion of the team enough. Like, I think you're kind of just playing like trading like a player for like another kind of similar player. The only difference being is that I guess Cooley can play center, but I don't even know if that's a guarantee. How long will Fowler stay as a backup? I mean, you never know with goaltenders, man. Oh yeah, Cooley also makes 10 mil a year. There's that tricky little part as well. The hat, exactly. The hat worked. Caulfield scores. We need a Ryan Leonard or Cutter Gauthier type player. That would be fun. That would be fun. If not Cooley, then what I said earlier. Yeah, I think Heishier is maybe like Heishier would be amazing. I would love. I would Caulfield for Heishier is definitely like a move that I would like. I would think long and hard about. I think I probably would do it, to be honest. Sorry, Cole. Leonard, yeah, Leonard and Cutter Goche would be so cool. That'd be fun. If only. Adam Fantilli would be great. Adam, this is not out of the realm of possibility because Don Waddell and Rick Bowness absolutely trashed the Columbus Blue Jackets. It could happen. You have a feeling Elias Peterson. Yeah, we've heard that a couple times. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah, so Columbus is interesting to me because Columbus, Rob Thomas, man, I was shocked when I heard him on the trade block, and it doesn't seem to have changed. Uh, I'd imagine that St. Louis wants a foundational defenseman. Don't know if the Habs have that to offer, but if Rob Thomas is available, they definitely got to take that call. Mishkov. Oof. I'm thinking the Habs are feeling pretty good that they didn't do that. Yeah, I mean that's another thing, Blue, right? The Peterson contract, he makes a lot of money. Mishkov is a little too small. Fantilli's bigger than Thomas and younger. Fantilli's would be awesome. I don't know what Columbus has planned. Columbus, Utah, these are teams that are like aggressive. Nice. Rabinov, we talked about it earlier. I think John Chayka and his arrogance opens the possibility of a trade with the Canadiens. But based on what Keith Pelly said and the blowback on Keith Pelly, I think Keith Pelly would stop a trade of that size to the Habs, unfortunately. So I do think Nye's not available to the Habs. We need to get bigger, Karen says. We can trade Newhook. Florian will make the team. Yeah, that's the thing. When you guys are talking about like these top six guys, that's why like Nyes, I'm like, yeah. Heischer's like decently sized. Thomas is decently sized. Fantilli's got good size. Fantilli would be great, but what about the cost? I mean, yeah, they would want a similar like guy of that draft pick stature. This series has wholly taught us that we need more grit, heavy punishing, checking. I mean, that's the thing, right? Peterson would be cheap, but again, buyer beware, right? Oh, hi, Tracy. You found the channel postseason. Good discussions. Best of luck next year. Best of luck to you as well. Have a wonderful summer. Thank you so much. Only 6 minutes to go until this the game will be mercifully over. The season will sadly be over, and my season with you guys will sadly be over. And I'm very sad about that. We had a lot of good fun. I am gonna enjoy my summer though. I am gonna tell you. Hopefully you guys have some fun summer. I don't know what your summer plans are. I don't have summer plans. Working on stuff that's not the Habs though, which will be interesting. It'll be fun to work on other projects. Um, What about Hage and Zorovsky? Yeah, as potential trades. I think they're gonna. I think Zorovsky is definitely a possibility, just because the contractually it like might be a while before he comes over, and the Canadiens may just be like, uh. So I see that. Hage, I still think they're gonna hold on to. Hage, I still think they're very confident in, and he'll be here next year, just not right away. He's gonna like come at the end of the season. Rick says, you remain the only reason why I'm even contemplating subscribing to the Gazette. Say what you want about Stu and the others. They don't hold account. Well, Rick, you're so kind. Uh, Patently untrue. Stu is incredible. Jack Todd is incredible. Herb is incredible. It's a great team. And obviously Knuckles and Rick Green on the show. But guys, I'm always taking your feedback. I'm always super hands on and like trying to shape our hockey coverage and trying to make it as good as possible for you guys, whether it's me doing it or somebody else doing it. So as always, you guys can always hit me up. I read all the comments on the YouTube channel. You guys can email me. I'm not hard to find. Uh, Always happy to get your feedback, and always happy to try new things too next year. I don't know what's going on. Great run. Thanks for keeping the blog going, keeping us informed, feeling like a family, dysfunctional family. Yeah, in the end, I think we're all leaving the season feeling pretty confident. Some of us want more changes than others, but I think we're all feeling like at least the team is kind of like out of like a pretty, the darkness. So the team's at least headed in a good direction. Looking forward to seeing what Reinbacher can do. Me too, because there aren't guys like Reinbacher available for trade for the most part. Like you saw what the Canadiens had to pay to get Dobson. They had to pay through the fucking nose to get Dobson. So if Reinbacher can be like anything good as a right-handed defenseman, they are golden. Here's a big move. Hage, Zorowski, Struble, Carrier, and a first for Fantilli. The Habs don't really have any firsts of any value, unfortunately. Um, Hage and Zorowski is an interesting package. My dad gets the Gazette. Shout out to your dad. How does your dad feel about the Habs? Mishkov would never fit. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. The draft and July 1st should be interesting for the Habs. Might do something for that, to be honest. Maybe I'll pop in for those ones. We'll see what happens. I deserve a raise. I'm gonna screen grab this and send this to my boss. No, I get paid handsomely to be here, and I'm happy to do it. Golf and fishing working. Hope to see you here again next year. You'll see me here, there, everywhere. We'll see what happens next year for sure. Carolina's phoning it in this period. Yeah, why not? They have a 7-game series against Vegas next week to worry about. Take care, Michael. Yeah, I wish that the season could keep going too, but alas, we cannot. This playoff run was a lot of fun. Some of you were here for 2021. Some of you were brand new. 2021 was crazy. You guys remember that one? That was crazy. Isn't it June 21st? My dad read the Gazette every day. Amazing. He lives in Westmount. He tips well if it's there before 7 a.m. It's getting harder and harder to get the newspaper there before 7 a.m. I'll tell you that much. Man, guys, actually just physically making a newspaper and like putting it on a doorstep has become, in our crazy world, our crazy technological world, making a newspaper has become so difficult. Like it's crazy how difficult it is. I'm so glad that we still do it because I think it's still like super important and fun and special. But man, it's a crazy business. Crazy business. Have a crazy good summer. And you too. I hope you're done all your exams and I hope you did well on all your exams. 45 cents a week to deliver the Gazette. Ooh, baby. That's a don't spend it all in one place. Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you so much for popping over to the YouTube. Thanks to longtime live bloggers like you, we were able to I think have a pretty successful year over in the new space here. The hockey news predicted 100% correctly in September. Vegas Carolina Cup final. Hey, that's a good prediction. Good for them. Where's everybody going? There's 4 minutes left. Yeah, nobody. I don't think. Well, the net's empty. I love that we emptied the net. Yeah, the Habs couldn't even a nickel tip. Oh baby. Alas, an empty netter. Why do we have an empty net? It's a good question. I mean, just a pitiful performance in Game Seven for the Game Seven, Game Five for the Habs. But a season of hope and decent stuff. 4 months from now, I'll be starting this again in 84 games. I can't believe they're moving to 84 games. I hate it. 82 is a nice number. I delivered the star, not a morning person. Sticking a thumb in our eye. Best news of the season: the Habs found a number one goalie. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? The Canadiens had so many goalie problems this year, but the Canadiens got 99 problems, but a goalie ain't one. They figured out their goalie issues for at least the time being. They got two pretty good guys ready to go. Marathon runners talk about hitting the wall. Habs hit their wall in game 3, 4, and 5 this series. Will goal scoring records in the future have an asterisk to mark 84 and 82 instead of 84? No, because they used to play 84 and nobody talks about it anymore. So I think it'll just be a little cash, a little extra cash for these NHL teams. Can the team handle it or can they get tired? Those two extra games. Going out on a too many men penalty. Wow. Is that what happened? Marty will not declare Dobesh the top dog. That's an interesting one. Interesting idea. Anyways, not done yet. There's a little bit of finishing the season on May 29th. Not bad at all. Man, if they had just extended a little longer, we could have been playing hockey in June. That would have been fucked up. But no, not to be. The Canadiens are down 6-1 with 2 minutes to go in game 5. They will lose this series momentarily 4-1, and the Carolina Hurricanes will move on to face the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup final, while the Montreal Canadiens can hang their hat on a top four finish. They make the Final Four, they make the Eastern Conference final. They eliminated two very difficult divisional opponents. It's pretty solid ending. But lots of questions this offseason, man. Onwards and upwards. This team will not want to take a step back. They will want to improve upon this season. So, what are they going to do? They're going to have to think about which players brought them here, which players can bring them further. They're going to have to make some tough decisions. Some fan favorites might go. Some guys you don't like might stay. We don't know. All I know is they've got a goal. The goaltending situation's a little rosier. Nick Suzuki's still their captain. Marty's coming back, and that's the problem with Montreal. Too much class. Be a bully. Be mean. Kick teams while they're down. We are a classy bunch, Adam, to perhaps our own detriment, but I think to our skin complexion and to our rosy glow, we're a classy bunch, and it prevents us from getting wrinkles, I think, and allows us to sleep a bit at night, but no fight back this time from the Habs. They go down without much of a fight. Their season is over. And it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close in the end, but wait, what can you do? What can you do? So that's that. We can hang out a little while longer if you want. I just gotta fix up. Yeah, where was all the talk about Freddie and Freddie Anderson? Not even a factor in the end. Go Vegas, go. Ray Holden said, especially all the folks who contribute on here, makes watching and following on more enjoyable. Have a good summer, everyone. Have a good summer to you, Ray. Even though they went down 4-0, Sens put up a better fight versus Canes and the Habs. At least the Sens were in every game. Anderson is feeling the loss of Claude. He really is. He really is. He's his agent. Hate these guys ever since Justin Williams. Me too. Me too. Go Habs, go. We didn't get swept. That's going to be one crappy final. Have a great summer to you, Derek. Let's see what the draft and free agency have to offer. I think the Habs are going to be pretty busy. I think they're going to do some interesting stuff. Congrats to the Canes that came to play. So, as you guys know, this is the last time we're going to do this this season, but we're going to have About Last Night tomorrow morning. We're going to have, you can check out the Liveblog replay right now on the MontrealGazette.com. We've got more Hockey Inside Out episodes coming, and then we're going to have a final recap episode next week. We're going to have, there's tons of tributes to Claude Lemieux. Incredible piece by Jack Todd, Stu Cowan on Claude Lemieux. Please go to the website and read it. We're going to have one more What the Puck tomorrow as we sign off. Brendan Kelly talking to all the Habs fans. We've got incredible photo galleries coming up. It's going to be, there's lots of stuff. And then we're just going to go right into the off season. Please follow MontrealGazette.com. Follow this, Hockey Inside Out. We're going to figure out some shit to do for the off season to keep you guys informed. I don't know what, but I'm going to plan it. We're going to do some best ofs, do all kinds of stuff. And yeah, man, like, thank you guys so much for everything. It's been such a fun. Rabinov says the Sens are a joke. They are a joke. They're going to trade Brady Tkachuk because they don't want to be there. Watching hockey won't be the same without you. Well, we'll watch it next year. We'll watch it next season together. We'll figure this out. You guys seem pretty like jazzed about the format. So maybe this format stays. Maybe we just keep doing this. They re-upped my subscription, my streaming service. I had problems with my streaming service last week, but they re-upped my subscription, so I can just keep going forever if I want. Enjoy your summer. Enjoy your summer, Kelly. Yeah, and I guess I mean we live blogged the draft last year, but the draft's fucking to do a video is fucking boring. I don't know if we'll do it. Maybe we will. Karen, it was such a joy having you here. Thank you so much, both Karens. Both Karens. We'll bring the comment section back, and then old school Karen. We're gonna bring the comment section back. God, I hope, God willing, we'll bring it back. And then new Karen. I will show you how to get to the. I'll show you how to get to the new comment section, and you can come to the new comment section. Yeah, we'll bounce in like 2 seconds, but man, what a season, really, in the end. All right, y'all. That's that. Can we get a live blog for the Owls? Absolutely not. No, I need my summer, Harry. I'm sorry. I need my summer. No evenings. No evening work in the summer. And no weekends. God, no weekend. God help me, no weekends. All right, y'all. We'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for everything. Have a good one. Hockey Inside Out. Plenty of stuff still going. Okay. Peace.